Welcome to the party. Welcome to the party. The party. The party. The party. The party. All right, I should probably wash my hands, huh? Today on Don't Panic Pantry, we are celebrating the Don't Panic Pantry cookbook, which comes out, depending on when you watch this video, either tomorrow or it's out now. So we thought the only way to truly celebrate this launch is with one of the staples of the old show, of the new show, of the current show, of the book itself, of my childhood, my mom's pasta fazool, which is basically pasta fagioli, but it is a Italian-American twist on it. It is a canned tomato base. There's no stock, there's no broth. It is just super tomatoey with beans. You got greens if you got them, basil if you got it, some dried oregano, pasta, olive oil. We're gonna throw it all together and have a little party. Should I drink wine or something?
Yeah.
Here's to celebrating by drinking alone. That is wine. But you get your nutrients, you get vitamins, you get lycopene, you get protein, you get fiber, all the good stuff. Grab some olive oil. Come on, Ben, fast and loose, let's go.
Okay.
Olive oil in the pan, get it to like a nice medium heat, and just enough to kind of coat the bottom. Then you're gonna slice up 3 garlic cloves. You can chop it, you can do whatever you want. Make it rain. Make it rain. And this goes super thin, so you wanna keep an eye on it. Now you just wanna get this to start getting a little tiny bit of golden browning around the very edges. If this is one you don't want it to be too dark in flavor. Bingo bango, dodge Durango, pinch of salt. That's the sound of salt going in, by the way, is a lot of greens, but they cook down very quickly. So come take a look, see how we're starting to get, it's very thin, so getting that browning on the edges, that's all we want. Now, greens go in. And we're just letting these wilt down. A little salt. Where did I go? That's the sound of salt. Let's go a little black pepper. All right, this is now wilted down. Nice and soft. Already looks like there's no spinach in there, but it's in there. Now, can of beans with the liquid. Also, obviously, if you want to be a fancy boy, like me usually, and use some dried beans, cook a nice rancho gordo, you want to learn how to make your own beans in a pot, click here.
Over there.
This is just either like a white bean, a cannellini, and you want that bean water in there, especially if you use like an organic bean that doesn't have any weird like calcium chloride or whatever in it. So now we're just gonna let this kind of simmer. You wanna reduce that bean liquid down. This is gonna give a little bit of thickness to the broth and it's gonna make it nice and flavorful. But then also while you're here, take a nice hefty pinch of dried oregano. If you're not using fresh basil, you'll add some dried basil in here as well. I'm just gonna get that guy going in there, a nice hefty teaspoon or so of dried oregano. Don't forget to take a sip of your wine. I'm really energized for
This is a f***ing bonkers episode.
Why? What's this? We're celebrating.
No,
The book
good.
comes out tomorrow. All right, while this is going, let's crush our tomatoes. 2 28-ounce cans of whole peeled tomatoes. Whole and peeled, very important, because if they're pre-crushed, you're using kind of worse tomatoes. This is, I find, to be the best result. And I like kind of a brothy canned tomato. But, you know, any good tomato, these are Bianco di Napoli, not a sponsor, but I'm a fan of their products. And Chris Bianco is one of the great guys in the restaurant business, doing the old hand crusher. Keep an eye on your beans, looking good. So a lot of pasta fagiols, they'll use, pancetta, they'll use chicken broth, and I love those. They are great, but this is the vegetarian Italian-American one that I grew up on. It is such a quick, beautiful weeknight dinner. It's a staple of my house, my brother's house, my mom's house. Oh, wine break. Do wine break. All right, that's how we kind of want it to be now. So you're getting that kind of, it gets kind of creamy looking. And now we can add in our tomato. Just goes right in thusly. A little more salt, a little more pepper. And then basically now, I'm gonna bring this to a nice simmer. I'll throw the pasta in and we're basically ready to rock. Pinch of salt. So see, this is just a really, it's almost like, hey Noah, didn't you just make just a really saucy tomato sauce and throw some spinach and beans in there? And if you want to think of it that way, you absolutely can, because it's just delicious, it's brothy. Men, lycopene is very heavily found in canned and cooked tomatoes. So get that prostate boost. Lycopene, very good for your prostate. A little pinch of basil. So that you get some of the flavor cooked into the sauce, and then you'll get more raw in at the end, so you get kind of both versions. And then for this, you can use any pasta you like. A lot of people on a classic pasta fagioli like to use like a ditalini. For this kind, it's more Italian-American-y. I like to use orecchiette or conchiglie or shells, basically. This is like a medium shell from our friends at Semolina Artisan Pasta right here in Los Angeles, an awesome brand. All right, this guy is starting to bubble. Now I can cover this guy. Let him simmer, and now we're gonna salt our pasta water. Salty like a well-seasoned broth, not looking for salty like the sea. I think for pasta that is a touch salty. That guy's simmering, so we're gonna go about 3/4 of the way here. Sorry, 2/3, I keep doing my math wrong. This guy's simmering along. The shells are al dente. If you're not gonna eat all of this in one sitting, do not mix it all together. Even if you want to cook the pasta and keep it separated, you drain it, you put it back in the pot, you ladle in as much sauce as you want to do. You eat them together all in one sitting. If you're going to save some for later, you've got to keep them separated. But we're going to do the whole thing all together. 12 ounces of pasta, 2 cans of tomatoes, 1 can of beans, and just give it like a quick 15 seconds or whatever in the pot together. And now I might take a little more of the basil, throw it in now. And then we'll also have a little more fresh to put on top. And now this is nice and brothy. It looks like a soup. It's got pasta, it's got beans. Basically, once it comes to a simmer all together, like this, you can just kind of turn it off and go. Do a little Parmesan Reggiano on top, drizzle it with a little olive oil, a few little extra leaves of fresh basil on top. I mean, come on. As I say on the show all the time, I mean, come on. I mean, I already know what this tastes like because I've had this probably more than any other food in this book. Been eating it since I was a kid. This is the pasta I made for my friends in college. It's just everything I want. Tomatoes, greens, beans, pasta, cheese, olive oil, acid. One of my favorite things in the world, one of my truest, deepest comfort foods, and it is in the Don't Panic Pantry cookbook, coming out either tomorrow or already is out. Let's celebrate. Celebrate good times, John Fu.